Welcome back to Popcorn and Beers. We've got your butter on top scary movie because we did He-Man last week. Tune in, go watch that episode. Anyway, we've got Jordan's drunk classic, The Perfect Storm. Let's go. All right, welcome back to your sister's brother's host's favorite movie podcast. This is Popcorn and Beers. Sorry, it's a little bit later. I've already taken my sleeping pills. Well, some use tomatoes and others use thumbs. We use the stuff that gets you drunk. A little all over the place, but we're finally done with that beer that splattered everywhere every time we opened it. So if Voodoo Ranger wants to support us out here at Popcorn and Beers, please join us and allow us to represent your beverage while we review movies. So we got to Scary Movie this week. Jordan, were you a fan of the Scary Movie franchises when you were a kid?
Yeah, absolutely loved it. It was a staple at family gatherings. Like, oh, we got to watch Scary Movie 2 or Scary, yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Scary Movie 3, a lot of people, that's where it kind of jumped the shark. It's hilarious. I think it's one of the best. Like the jokes are just so constant and so funny. After that, it's just severely off a cliff, just unwatchable.
4 with Charlie Sheen,
4
right?
and 5, yeah. Well, 3 has Charlie Sheen.
Okay, so 3 had Charlie Sheen.
3 is the one.
What is it? Signs.
Yeah, the Signs one, the alien one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That was hilarious.
So this one's just continuing off a cliff. This one is again.
I figured, yeah,
Now they're making fun of how primarily Scream, of course, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, but there's a few others mixed in. You'll know them when you see them, and really what we're doing is we're bringing together, Anna Faris and what's her name? I had it in the tip of my tongue. Regina Hall.
Regina.
We're bringing those two back, right? And they're basically our Brandy and Jennifer Love Hewitt returning to I Know What You Did Last Summer. And they reference it quite a bit, how they're just trying to bring back nostalgia to get people into the theaters and maximize their box office. So they poke quite a bit of fun at that. And they poke quite a bit of fun at Teyana Taylor, using Teyana Taylor. Teyana Taylor makes a little bit of fun of herself and her own persona and how she's perceived. So she had some fun with it. They made some jokes about how she didn't win the Oscar. And I don't know. It was the open and then never again, right? So they're doing their thing where it's like, here's a big Hollywood star. There's a couple other folks in it, and I don't want to spoil it, but really, we're bringing Anna Faris, Regina Hall, and their kids into the picture. And they're going to introduce us to a whole new scary movie. Do we get a whole new scary movie? Yeah, in the way that it's really bad. Like, really bad. It's really not a good movie. Lots of, shots at Gen Z and gender norms and pronouns and stuff like that. And is it funny? Not really. Some of the jokes, though, I will say this. I must have been in a younger theater because some of the jokes, there were a lot of the younger crowd laughing. And I was like, I don't really find that funny. It's kind of stupid, but I guess if you think it's funny, that might be the target audience, right? Because would I have been in high school again? I may have found it very funny. I don't know if right now I'm watching this movie going, this is hilarious. Ha 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 ha, knee slapper. They did a little long legs joke, making fun of police brutality.
It felt like, it feels like a lot of old people kind of saying, "Oh, we're in on the joke as well," but kind of shaking their fist at the cloud, like we're so old and out of touch, but we get it, but it's still annoying. It's just, it's gimmick. It just felt like old people trying to be edgy.
It wasn't even that. It was, we're just gonna shit on them. That's what it was. It wasn't even like we're in on the joke. It's like we're just gonna shit on you. And the millennial in me didn't really mind a lot of it. Some of it was funny. There was a joke. Smokey goes, "Stop making up words just trying to make me feel old. None of the words you use are real words. You're just making shit up to make us millennials feel older than we actually are." And that was pretty funny. Because sometimes I hear words, I'm like, that's not a thing. Like you guys are just making up things. Like at least the words we used were words. You're making fun of things. They take shots at streamers. They do that as well. They murder Kai Cenat, so that was interesting how that went down. But really, it was just like, let's not make a funny movie. Let's just say a bunch of random things, and maybe people will laugh at them. That's really what they went for. And then they kind of try to tie it together at the end. So for a scary movie, I'm going to go ahead and give this a popcorn.
Saw that coming. Yeah, sure.
Now for you chose The Perfect Storm as your drunk classic. So why did you choose The Perfect Storm?
This movie I saw in theater as a kid with my dad. It was always one of my dad's favorite movies. And it was always on at somebody's house. Like whenever you went over for a long period of time, you went over to someone's house, This Perfect Storm was on. And
Lake Valley.
Yeah, it's visually, you know, with the storm itself and all of that, like it's pretty terrifying. Like it's very like it was very like defining the disaster movie, sort of the you against nature sort of thing. I mean, you know,
I don't know if it was defining. I think it was more like a part of.
Yeah,
like there's
I mean,
movies
Twister
that define the disaster genre long
Congo
before this movie.
and well,
No,
yeah,
Congo's about apes.
it's about a volcano as well, though. I mean, it's better than the movie Volcano. Anyways,
Well, if we're gonna do volcanoes, yeah, you got to do Dante's Peak Volcano, and then you got to do Deep Impact Armageddon. Like, there's quite a few disaster movies before we
Armageddon
get
is
to a perfect storm.
about yeah, okay, whatever. Same time period.
A
anyways.
meteor. It's
Armageddon is a
meteor.
meteor. Yeah. But it is the same time period. Anyways, yeah, it's part of it, okay, and it's not that bad, okay. There's a lot of faces, like
Yeah,
people you recognize, like even ancillary characters and stuff. You know, Mark Wahlberg, George Clooney, John C. Reilly.
Mm-hmm.
It is on and on. Yeah, tons of faces in this movie, and everybody does a pretty solid job. The acting is pretty good. It's cool to see the shitty fisherman life, and I don't mean to say like that. You know, it just looks like a very difficult life. It looks like a very difficult life, and just how some people have to put food on the table. Like that's a whole thing that like they actually make it kind of interesting and kind of gritty, and you know you kind of get into like the business of it, how it works, and how these guys think, and all of that. You know, the funny name, what kept getting me the whole movie is the funny names for the fishing spots that they have, the Gloucesterman Ground Banks Flemish caps, and all this jargon. It's like, shut up, just this spot over there, you know, just the spot over there, you know, just throw your line, shut up. Funny banter. The real bad guy behind this movie, right? It's not the storm, it's not the weather, because I mean, you know, that's gonna happen. It's pride and greed. It's pride and
George
greed.
Clooney's pride.
Yes, and greed, just general greed. You know, it's like, oh yeah, we could all, you know, go in, and no, they wanted the money, right? And that's what they keep saying over and over. Like I want the money. I want the
greed.
money. Yeah, and I don't want just a little bit. I want the big catch, right?
Yeah.
The sailboat guy too, also pride, right? The guy with with the woman that gets saved first in the movie.
Yeah, that guy was a tool.
That guy was a jerk. It's my boat. No, you're gonna die. Do what I say? Yeah. Shut your mouth. But yeah, you know, this was just a nostalgia movie. I haven't seen it in a really long time. I wasn't too disappointed, but I also wasn't like blown away. I was like, why did everybody like this so much? I don't know. It kind of lacks a bit of a plot, you know. So, The Perfect Storm, I'm gonna give it a popcorn and one.
I will go down with my ship. So that song just plays through your head the entire time. What a morbid movie too. Like just nothing good happens.
Yeah,
it's just all bad stuff. I mean, I thought William Fichtner played his character Sully very well. Kind of the jerk, the landlubber that ends up on the boat. Him and John C. Reilly go at it quite a bit, and he has to save John C. Reilly. And he goes, "You would have done the same for me." I don't know if that was true. You know, maybe he would have. But John C. Reilly, how about his character just throwing out a lot of like just he just keeps saying it over and over again in different ways about how he's gonna off William Fichtner's character Sully. I think that I don't think it was well acted at all. To be fair, maybe William Fichtner and John C. Reilly's character, George Clooney, it was bad. Like I thought that was poorly acted by George Clooney. Mark Wahlberg played Mark Wahlberg, so that was interesting.
Hey guys, we're gonna get on a boat.
Played Mark Wahlberg in a film about fishing. He was like, "I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I'm a fisherman today," and that was fun. The green, I think one of my notes says, "Holy green screen," because I think there were a few scenes where I was like, "Geez, that is such an obvious green screen." And I don't know, man. Maybe some of these movies don't age well with things like that. I love the thing is like he gets an insult. He goes, "Hey, dog, why don't you go get laid?" And he goes, "Yeah, easy for you to say." At the bar, the guy that just has trouble with women nonstop. That was pretty funny. I mean, the story flips between the Coast Guard and the fishing boat pretty well. Like that was pretty interesting. When the Coast Guard rescues out there, and then we go back to the fishing boat. The Coast Guard rescues out there, and we go back to the fishing boat. John C. Reilly's final words: "Who's going to be hard on my son?" There was, I don't know. There was a lot going on in this movie. It's not a bad movie. It's not, I don't think it's as good as it was made out to be when it came out. Maybe visual effects, it might have even been nominated for an Oscar for visual effects. But for me, it's a popcorn and one for The Perfect Storm. It was fun. It was a good watch. That beginning, that is way too long. The beginning of this movie takes forever. We're just sitting there and it's like, yep, still the start. Yep, still the start of the movie. Yep, we're still at the start of the movie. And it just goes and goes and goes. Not even subtitles, like not even, captions or anything. It just drags. So yeah, for me, I'm going to go ahead and give it, like I said, a popcorn and one. For the era that it was in, if we're going to be era appropriate, it probably was a popcorn and two back then.
Yeah.
But now, popcorn and one.
Sweet.
So what's next for you on what you were watching?
I got to watch Netflix's new animated movie, Swapped. And it's, about two different creatures swapping places, learning to coexist and why, what world each one of them comes from and why they do what they do, that whole thing. It's like these weird hybrid nature animals. They're kind of like Pokemon-ish, kind of. There's like armadillo acorn things and these leaf birds and fire wolves and all this stuff. So it's not like real animals. They're kind of mythical, but it's cool. Cool animation. I really like the way they animated it. The dialogue is very AI. Corny.
Robot written.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a couple funny parts, but because of course you're gonna hit once in a while with the AI, but for the most part it's pretty tacky. The voice acting itself is not great. I believe Michael B. Jordan is the main character. Tracy Morgan is awful. I love Tracy Morgan. He's hilarious. His timing and all of that, the way he says
what
things.
What does he do? Does he hit you with like, "I'm Brian Fellows"?
He just over enunciates stuff, and especially, I don't want to spoil anything because I mean it's a good movie. Honestly, like at the end of it, I was like, this wasn't as bad as I kind of thought it was going to be. It was entertaining. It felt original in some way.
Okay.
But Tracy Morgan just takes it out of it.
That's positive, especially when there's so many animated movies out there,
Yeah. So, Swapped, I'm going to say give it a watch. I'm going to give it a popcorn and one as well.
Popcorn and one for Netflix's Swapped. Well, I also got a Netflix film in this week. I got in Office Romance. So this is brand new. It just came out on Netflix probably yesterday, I want to say. And this is Brett Goldstein and, like I said, Jennifer Lopez. Now, is this her getting back to her romantic comedy roots because she has made a few movies that were kind of flops? Yes. Does this movie justify her move back to rom-com? No, it was bad again. It was so bad. And in this movie, they're really just going for it. Just shock, F word, F word, F word, F word, F word, boner, 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 F word, F word, F word, F word, F word. We're in love. We're not in love. We're in love. And I'm just like, okay, all right, easy, champs. Like, well, let's settle in on a movie. And it made me sad because it was actually, it says it was co-written by Brett Goldstein, who does a lot of shows that I like with Bill Lawrence on his team. And it was sad. Like, he was a co-writer on Ted Lasso. He assisted in writing Shrinking. Like, he's a really good writer. So it was sad when I saw that he had a writing credit, and this movie was so bad. I mean, we get a skinny Edward James Olmos, which caught me off guard. I was like, good for you, Edward. You look good. You look fit. We get Bradley Whitford. If you see his face, you know exactly who he is. He's Jake Peralta's dad from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I hope that helps some of you out. But he chokes on a breakfast burrito and almost dies. That was one of the funnier scenes is when he comes back on a scooter because he left the hospital early, so he didn't want a reason to sue the office. So he just rides a scooter around the office, even though he can walk. They were like, I thought you choked. He's like, yeah, but if I'm walking, then I can legally sue this place. And he's like the office lawyer. Let's talk about the movie, though. Just the movie itself. The movie itself is one where they're, hitting some tropes, but they're hitting like 19 tropes. The reality of the film is it's trying way too hard. And it has some interesting elements. It even has some cute elements. But there's only so many meet cute stories you could tell about one couple in a movie. One of the scenes that gets a little ridiculous is she literally follows him in a $200,000 car. Like, that's inconspicuous. I'm sure he'll never notice you following him all the way out of the city to the upcountry. That was weird. And it's just not a good movie. It's interesting. It flows like a Hallmark movie, and it makes you question how Netflix has a lock on all of these Hallmark movies, but with A-listers, you know? Like, they corner the market on Hallmark movies with A-listers in them. This movie is not going to be recommended by me. I'm going to go ahead and give Office Romance a popcorn, but I will say the best part of Office Romance was Betty Gilpin. She is very funny in this. She's like a Netflix staple. She's in every Netflix show, every Netflix movie. Like, she is in their stable of actors and actresses where Netflix is like, you know what? Let's just go to her. She'll good. She's gonna be it. She's gonna rock this out. I think she's also in Glow, right? I think she's in every Netflix movie, but she has a funny line where she's like, "I'm a better looking Michelle Pfeiffer. I am porcelain. I am better looking than Benedict Cumberbatch if he was a woman." She has like a good little monologue there that I enjoyed. But overall, Office Romance, it is not one you need to throw on. It's not one you need to rush to your couch and watch on Netflix. This movie exists, and that's the best thing I could say about it, as it falls into our popcorn category. What was next for you, Jordan?
I finished up The Boys season 5, and man, what a ride that show has been.
Yeah.
They kept it safe with this finale season, They just gave everybody the ending that they felt would make everybody feel good, There's one you mentioned in your review that most characters get their comeuppance. There's one that just kind of gets left off the hook a little bit.
Which one?
I don't. The brain girl. What's her name? The smart girl. Homelander's right hand.
No, she gets it too. Like, she gets turned into like a babbling idiot.
No, she just gets like normal. Her brain is like pretty normal, and she just gets to go off, and that's exactly what she wanted.
I guess. I think she was an idiot, though. I don't think she was normal. I think she ends up being like really stupid.
Well, still, I wish something like worse would have happened to her. You know what I mean? For everything that she did.
Yeah.
The fight sequence between Butcher and Homelander. I'm really gonna try not to spoil anything here.
In the Oval Office?
Yeah, the Starlight and Deep fight.
Yeah.
All of that. Lots of death, lots of jokes. They kept it light and inserted a lot of stuff where you're like, oh god, I just want more of like substance. I want more tying with a bow, but they just like kept stringing you
Yeah.
along for a little bit longer. So I enjoyed it. Not the greatest. It was safe, but popcorn and two for the boys' final season.
What'd you think of Lava Man?
Oh, that was hilarious. I love that. I loved all those characters. The crow girl, she has two crows left with the name Russell and Cameron.
Yeah, yeah, it was
Yeah.
interesting. It was interesting. It's like the boys, like Netflix holds the monopoly on rom coms or Hallmark movies with A-listers. I think that the boys held in like shock. We're gonna shock you with something throughout this show, and you get it right from the beginning when A Train runs through Huey's girlfriend. Right from the beginning, like, hey, we're going to hit you with a lot of shocking things, and you're just going to have to deal with it. But I did read, I think I said this in my review, that a lot of the stuff they shot was years in advance of a certain administration that kept calling them out and saying that they're only picking on them. They're like, no, we were doing the most outlandish things with the thought that this could never happen. Like, I thought that that was pretty funny. Who ends up being your favorite character?
In the end, probably Frenchie.
Frenchie. Yeah, Frenchie was great, and Frenchie was a great character to evolve over time on this show. Like his character arc was very solid. So was what was her name? Wyoming, Yonomi,
Oh,
his girlfriend.
Kimiko.
Kimiko, yeah, Kimiko's is the same. Like her character arc is really good. Her teaching herself to talk, and then like she just says all the inappropriate things you could ever think of is pretty interesting. Like, what would somebody that's never been able to talk say if all of a sudden they had the ability to talk? I thought that that was interesting and a nice turn for that. But overall, I think they didn't do enough with season 5. I thought they had built up so much, and they just didn't do enough with it.
Yeah, they just wanted to keep it succinct and just safe and what everybody, get make something palatable and digestible for everyone.
I guess. Well, speaking of palatable and digestible for everyone, I watched Euphoria season 3, the final season. So
Yeah.
everybody wanted to tune in, pardon me, to see what was going on with Rue and Cassie and Maddie and Nate. And all we got was just a jumbled up piece of garbage as we now follow these high school students into adulthood. And here's the thing, they're all terrible people except for Maddie. Every single one of them turns out terrible. What a hell of a commentary on our life and the future of our great nation. And I didn't like that. And it's funny because I watched some of the post show from HBO, and it was like, we just really want to show how bad addiction was. And I was like, I mean, like, I don't know. Rue had addiction, but I don't think that everyone's addiction leads them down this crazy rabbit hole. But granted, you have to make a show, so I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you some grace there. Now, Hunter's character gets almost like completely erased. Like, people will argue with me there, but I was like, this was a prominent character in the first 2 seasons, and this character maybe has 40 minutes of showtime across like 8 episodes or however many episodes this was. And I was like, I mean, like, that's pretty interesting here. Like, they're going to take a very prominent character and really backseat them. And it's not even that. They also make this character incredibly ridiculous in some of the ways that the character reacts to different events that occur throughout the show. They off some characters, so that's something. We won't spoil it, but some of your favorites get offed, and then some of your other favorite characters become OnlyFans models. I mean, I can leave it up to you to figure out which one of those they turn into an OnlyFans model. But yes,
I mean,
one
that
of
was
the
going on
characters
in.
does get.
I mean, she was webcamming one of the girls or something, like season 1 and 2.
Yeah, the big girl. Yeah, she was doing her webcam thing, living her best webcam life. But I mean, a lot of what they did with Sydney Sweeney and the Cassie character was just like, okay, this is a lot. Maybe that is the life of an influencer. I don't know. I'm not an influencer. But as I'm watching this, I was kind of like, this is silly. Like, this isn't like this is the first season was great. Second season was okay. This season was off the ball, ridiculous. Let's see how crazy we can get. Let's see what HBO and the censor folks will let us get away with here. How far can we push this storyline? And they did. They did. They pushed it in lieu of a storyline. That's what they did. They pushed it in lieu of a story, pardon me. They pushed it as far as they could. They put as much as they could on film, and they left their audience wanting a better finale. So we got what they gave us, and what they gave us was definitely a popcorn. Really quick, I also wrapped up 4 seasons, season 2. So Coleman Domingo is back. Will Forte is back. That would have been crazy. Tina Fey is back. And all the best friends are going through every season again. They get to go on a trip with their best friends once a quarter. And it's interesting because now we have Eugene and Gina both together living with Anne. And if you're not familiar with the show, that is Steve Carell's ex-wife, whom he left for Gina. And we get a little bit of backstory there, by the way. A little bit of backstory in season 2 of 4 seasons around the relationship between Steve Carell and her. And really, when did this start to fall apart? When did we see the cracks start to show? And you learn that it's earlier than you thought it was. Much of season 2 is anger and reconciliation, anger and reconciliation, anger and reconciliation. And it's just not as pleasant, I think, as the first season one. Granted, the first season had its elements of trials and tribulation, but this, it's just every single thing. You think, okay, so they're going to get a divorce? Okay, so they're going to get a divorce? Are they breaking up? And it's really just, you know why couples are able to stay together? Because they stick it out. They last as long as they possibly can. They put up with as much as they possibly can, but they're there for each other. And that's why they last. They're able to put up with every single one of their significant others' nonsense things and talk it out like 2 adults. They don't ask stupid questions. They talk it out like adults when something comes up, and they figure it out and work through it. They don't just give up. This show consistently reinforces marriage is a marathon. It is not a sprint. Every single time something is happening, it is not a reason to break up. That's what the 4 seasons show is reinforcing. Coleman Domingo is great again. He actually directed the first episode, so I don't know if you caught that. I thought that was very interesting. Will Forte's character takes a turn here in season 2, and it gives us a little bit more of his personality and what he's bringing to the table as far as this group is concerned. And you really start to see where he stood with his relationship with Steve Carell's character and why he believed so deeply in that human being as a human and didn't just let him disappear from the group when he made the breakup happen that gets all of season 1 off to its shenanigans. So I believe I gave 4 seasons of popcorn and 2. I'm going to give 4 seasons, season 2 of popcorn and 1 just because I would have, there were so many stories going on at once. I would have liked a little bit of focus and a little bit of fleshing out of some of the stories they introduced to us this go around as we lasted all 4 seasons on a new trip. Popcorn and 1. Jordan, what was next for you?
The only other thing I watched was Obsession, which you reviewed and raved about. Oh, wow, that was interesting. That was a ride. Dead Cat. Right? I think you mentioned that. Dead Cat. That was a hard.
Yeah.
Like right at the beginning. No, thank you. But I've heard an interesting. Like, I don't know if it's a.
cat.
Yeah, I heard an interesting fan theory that the woman becomes his cat basically. Like yeah, like the way that she behaves, her eyes, the glint in her eyes, and hides in the corner of room stuff. Like she says she wants to become like love him more than anyone in the world. And then yeah, I can't remember how to explain it, but somebody said she became his cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know.
It's
I'll have to find it. But the crystal necklace shop thing, it's like you always wonder how those places stay open when you wander into one of those. You're just like, are people buying enough of this stuff to like keep this business open?
That one's open too. That's a real shop. It's in like Long Beach, I want to say, or Burbank or something, but it's real. a reel came across my phone. It was like, hey, do you want to see the real shot from Obsession? And then some influencer found it and walks inside. But it's like a real place that's open in one of the most expensive cities in the world.
Yeah, it's like how does it stay open, you know? But if they're selling those one wish willow things, it's like, oh, there you go. That would keep them in business forever. But you
Yeah,
know, also
yeah, for
plunge us
sure.
into the end of days or something. But I love that whole exchange with him at the end when he's like trying to find more of them, and the guy's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's just screwing with him.
Yeah, yeah. Like, dude, where were you? Wasn't here.
Yeah. And then as soon as the wish worked, my thought was like, go and buy them all. Even
Yeah,
if you can only use one, now you control a large supply of them. I mean, you know,
yeah. I mean,
toxic
that's a good
capitalism.
thought. That's a good thought. And
Yeah.
you can try to convince people to use their wishes for your own gains, like he was trying to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I knew something was going on with his friend, right? And I knew there was some kind of
Ian.
hidden agenda going on there. Yeah,
Yeah.
because dude was just hating a little bit too hard on him. Yeah.
Bad situations. That was the other thing. Like that, those weren't like friendship advices. That was like advice to make himself look better than he was.
Yeah.
And trying to get her out of his house, like, too, that was the other thing. He's like, before they even knew something was wrong with her, like, they were already like, this isn't right, something's going on with her, all of a sudden she likes you. I was like, this sounds like somebody that's a little sour.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of I felt the same way.
Yeah.
This is definitely worth a watch. It's not a original concept, the whole like wishes and be careful what you wish for, but the way that it's executed was really interesting and kind of worth watching, you know? So I give it a popcorn and two.
What do you think of the bedroom scene where she is hiding in the corner, like where he wakes up and she's hiding in the corner? Like, what did you think of that? Because our whole movie theater was reacting to that scene, like as she's and then she comes running down, and then she runs back, all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
what did you think of that?
Well, it's weird. And honestly, I did get that notion. Like, so this is what my cats do at night in my room. So, yeah, I
And
mean,
the
once I
duct
read
tape.
that little once I read that little fan theory, I'm like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense to me. That's kind of the feeling I was getting. Like she's kind of animalistic and yeah,
I don't know, what about the duct tape on the door?
duct tape on the door. I'm trying to remember that.
Yeah, when he walks out that next morning when he has to go back to work, the duct tape on the door, and he has to open the door.
I don't remember that part.
The front door is duct tape shut. You really don't remember that?
Really?
Yeah, you didn't catch that? Yeah, she duct taped the front door shut, and he has to
Oh my
open it
gosh.
up, and you hear the. And then the other scene where it's like, it was when Sarah is talking to him in the car after the party.
Yeah,
That was the
yeah,
scene where I was like, oh my god.
that was crazy.
Like, yeah, and it was like full blast. It wasn't like slow down. It was like boom, 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 and I was like, oh my god, this is wild. What is happening right now? And then Ian too. Ian is an interesting off somewhere, off in Never Neverland. That was an
Yeah,
issue. I thought they did a lot with a little, and that's why I enjoyed the movie. Like they're not doing a whole like it's not like this sprawling story. It's a very confined space of like two houses and a record shop, and they're doing so much with this. And India Neveretti, I think is her name, she crushes that role as the girlfriend. Like she was eerie, she was creepy. Like the diner scene, it was so creepy and so intense. Every move, like just wait here for me, and then she doesn't move. Like all of it was just like out of this world. She did such a fantastic job. So I really think
she did.
everybody should
She
check
did.
out Obsession. I think it was made for like a couple hundred, like what was it, like seven? It was super low. It was like a super low amount, and now it's like people are saying it's gonna hit like a ton of money, like domestically.
Well,
Like it's like
there's
tripled
also
its earnings. Its box office tripled its costs.
there's also some negative press coming out of its production. Something about disorganization, and Just some issues, people rubbing each other the wrong way, I guess. I don't really know enough of it yet, but I've heard some things.
I mean, I feel like that happens everywhere, though, right? Uh, when anything like this gets successful, as successful as it's been, people are going to go after and try to get their money, right? Like everybody will be in someone's pockets when you see that this movie is this big and you made a bad deal. You
Yeah.
don't think so?
No, yeah, for sure. That makes total sense.
All right, so wrapping our what we watch up, I watched Ant-Man and Wasp with Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, and who the actress that plays his daughter. Goodness gracious, I was on a roll and I screwed it up. But anyway, we actually get our first full look at Kang the Conqueror, played by Jonathan Majors, who is now no longer canon for obvious reasons. If you don't know why, follow the Jonathan Majors stories. And I was watching this, I was like, yeah, it's not the best movie ever, but you got Bill Murray, you got Martin Sheen, you got some great actors in this film. It's not bad. I think what happened, Jordan, is these Marvel films tried to get a little too cute. And Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania was one of those movies. Like, we're just getting a little too cute with it, and it paid the price. They, you know what happened? You can't go back to the well over and over and over again because that well is going to dry up. We get it. It was kooky. It was funny, but let's move past it. Let's develop new plots. Let's develop new tropes. Let's develop new jokes. You can't hit us over the head with the same exact jokes over and over again. It will wear thin on your audience. And I think that's what happened to Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania. Because it's not a bad movie. It's just not a good movie. And it's not what we had come to expect out of this franchise. This franchise is the little engine that could, and it made big waves and did big things and moved forward the story for every phase so far of the Marvel Universe. And this one just didn't do it with King the Conqueror. And also, here's the big thing. I think that Marvel needs to realize your audience is time traveled out. They're time traveled out. And King the Conqueror, if you're unfamiliar, is a time traveling villain. That's what he does. That's his whole shtick. So I think that this suffered from all the things I just mentioned. Now, the graphics were great. The CGI is great. It is an interesting concept. It's not too over your head scientifically to be a bad movie or to be confused, but it just misses the mark in a lot of places, leading us to give it a popcorn for Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It is still a popcorn 3 of a superhero movie for me. It's one of the more perfect superhero movies, even though it's incredibly hard to watch with everything that happened to Rocket. It has one of the best fight scenes in all of the Marvel films when they go to free the creatures, right? The rescue scene. That is one of the best fight scenes in every Marvel movie. Like it's a phenomenal fight scene with the most badass movements, the most badass choreography, great CGI, fantastic villains, and it doesn't lean too heavily on CGI. I think the choreography is really, really good and really fun. It hurts you. There are elements that make you sad, but just the right amount of sad to stay in the movie. What happens to Rocket's friend sucks, but Rocket, you see that had to happen to push Rocket to be the person or the raccoon that he is. Cosmo the dog is brought into us, right? And you gotta love Cosmo the dog and the bad dog storyline, the little minor storyline throughout it where he won't tell her she's a good dog. It was cute, it was funny, and it was interesting. We get a lot of backstory and fleshing out still. It's weird that we're in the fifth movie for all of them, and we're still getting some characters being developed, and we're still learning about their background in Groot and in Drax. It'll be interesting to see what they do with some of these characters as we hit Avengers Doomsday. But Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I think, was one of the more perfect Marvel films that existed within that Infinity Saga. So, well, it exists outside of the Infinity Saga, so excuse me. Yeah. So it's the best one they've made since the Infinity Saga, and nothing has held up next to it since Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So that's going to be our Popcorn and 3 film for this week. And then, of course, I guess it falls on me to give us a drunk classic this week, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think about... Go ahead.
No, let's hear. What do you got?
Oh, what do you think about a little Kurt Russell?
Okay.
A little Goldie Hawn
Okay.
in the 1980s.
Feel like I might know where you're going with. What is it?
We're gonna watch.
He knows.
Yeah, look at that. That was perfect timing. We're gonna watch Overboard.
Yeah.
This from the 1980s,
Funny
1987.
movie.
We're watching Overboard. Have you seen this one, Jordan?
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen it like once or twice.
Yeah? Okay. All right. So you know what we got to watch, right? You know what we have to watch for our butter on top this week. We have to.
Steven Spielberg?
Yep. Gotta go see Disclosure Day. I don't think you can miss a Steven Spielberg, especially right now when he's getting close to the end. What do you think?
I don't. This looks out there. I'm definitely gonna watch it, but I don't know. I'm a little nervous about this one.
So you know what it started to remind me of is one of my favorite alien movies ever, Arrival.
That one was okay. It's the other one that came out recently that I can't remember what the heck it's called, and I feel like it looks like the same movie. I don't know. I'll look it up and figure it out when we review it.
Yes, save it for the show. Save it for the show. I'm sorry you didn't enjoy Obsession as much as I did, but I'm not obsessed with it. I just want to make that very clear. I just thought it was a very good movie. And now you guys know we're going back for a Steven Spielberg film for our butter on top. And if you want to join us, we'll see you at the movies. You get the popcorn, and we got the beer. All right.